When we think of school, we think of subjects, right? Math, history, science. But what if a subject could be more than that? What if it could be a lifeline? Well, in one of the toughest places on earth for young people, a single class is doing just that. It's becoming an incredible tool for resilience and, believe it or not, for hope.
So, let's zoom in on where this is all happening. Our story today is centered on the Flying Wings Online School. Now, this isn't your average school. It's a place that's offering students in Afghanistan something that goes way beyond a standard curriculum, something really, really powerful.
And this all brings us to a really big question. In a world that can feel so uncertain and chaotic, how on earth can one school subject, psychology of all things, actually become a lifeline for a whole generation of students?
Well, the answer, it turns out, lies in the incredible power of understanding. Understanding ourselves and understanding the world around us.
Just try to imagine it for a second. For so many young people in Afghanistan, life is defined by constant instability. Their education gets disrupted, social rules are always changing, and the future, well, it can feel like a giant question mark. This is the world these students are trying to navigate every single day.
So, how exactly does psychology fit into this picture? What makes it such an important tool? Let's break down what we're really talking about when we say high school psychology.
At its core, it's pretty simple. It's the scientific study of how we think, feel, and act. It's basically a science that gives students a map to the most complicated and amazing thing they'll ever own, their own mind.
And look, this isn't just about learning abstract theories. Students are learning how to become more self-aware, how to build emotional intelligence, how to handle stress, and how to bounce back from challenges. These are absolutely essential skills for life, no matter where you live. Okay, so these skills are universal. But how do they actually make a difference for a student in Afghanistan? Let's take a look at how this all plays out in the real world, inside the classroom.
This is where it gets really amazing. For these students, psychology gives them a scientific way to understand why they feel the way they do in response to stress and loss. It helps them develop actual strategies to cope, to build empathy, and to see that their own personal experiences, they're part of a much bigger human story. And maybe most importantly, it tells them that what they're feeling is valid. And this, right here, this is the absolute game changer. This education gives students the power to see their reactions not as some kind of personal weakness, but as a completely understandable human response to their situation. That shift in perspective, wow, it is just incredibly powerful.
Now, this idea of empowerment, it becomes even more profound when we focus specifically on the experiences of Afghan schoolgirls. For them, this education is a vital tool for finding their own voice and their own agency.
I mean, let's be honest. Many girls in Afghanistan are up against enormous obstacles, barriers to education, limited opportunities, and just intense psychological pressure. Psychology class gives them a safe, science-backed space to figure out who they are and who they want to be.
This whole journey of empowerment is a real process. It starts with the basics, building self-awareness and confidence. From there, it moves on to understanding stress and learning healthy ways to cope. And then, finally, it encourages them to make good decisions and actually set goals for their own futures. And the results are very real. This course helps these girls build emotional strength. It gives them the scientific facts they need to challenge harmful stereotypes. It validates their experiences, encourages them to speak up for mental health, and helps them imagine a meaningful future for themselves. And what's so incredible is that the impact doesn't just stop when the class ends. This education is actively helping to build a better future.
Now, it's really important to know that this isn't some watered-down curriculum. This course is aligned with tough international standards, things like the Wisconsin Standards for Social Studies and the C3 framework. What that means is that these frameworks are all about inquiry, research, and thinking ethically. You know, the building blocks of a truly world-class education. So these students are getting top-notch learning, period. And a quality education like that, it opens real doors. It prepares students for college and for careers in fields that are so important, like education, healthcare, social work, and community development. These are the very jobs that are essential for rebuilding and strengthening their communities from the inside out.
At the end of the day, by providing this education, this program is sending a really clear message. It's affirming that mental health is a universal human issue and that the experience of every single student, no matter who they are or where they live, matters. It really matters.
So you see, for these students, psychology isn't just another box to check on the schedule. It's a pathway, It's a pathway to understanding, to resilience, to dignity, and maybe most importantly of all, to hope.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If a single subject, when it's taught with real purpose and heart, can be this life-changing in one of the most difficult places in the world, just imagine what it could achieve everywhere.